All right, guys and girls, I'm out in the workshop. Uh, long day with the 16 and 20 team league drafts. A lot of drama in the 16 team league there, so that kept me busy. I thought I wasn't going to be that busy, but I was very busy. Here we are, draft recap. I'm not going to talk about the Central Division tonight. Anybody wants to step up and do a breakdown of the Central Division, that'll be fine. I've laughed enough within the Central Division and some of the things that's gone on. So, what I'm going to do tonight is do a pretty good breakdown, and we're just going to look at the South. I'm going to look at the South tonight. First off, the team I think that had the best draft overall. It's a tight one between the Bulls and the Showboats. I think the Showboats probably had the best draft. Looking at it, he's got Jimmy G and Bridgewater. Those are Bridgewater is questionable as far as his durability, but together with those two and picking two quarterbacks to start was a good thing. He's got A.J. Brown and Jones, and then he's got Eckler and Kareem Hunt, and so two running backs, two wide receivers, pretty good there. And then he's got some rookies in there too that are, could be good. And then his ancillary set, which is basically the defense, kicker, defensive player, and head coach. I give him a B plus on that. So it's a pretty good report. And compare that to the Bulls, Phil Wilfong. I give him an A for getting two quarterbacks, Stafford and Carr. Now, those are not top 10 quarterbacks, but getting two at the beginning of the season is really important, and that's what he did. And I think that's a good move. He's got Thielen, Kirk, and Lockett. All these guys are arguably top 20 wide receivers, and could all be top 10 wide receivers. Kirk, maybe not, but a really good pick of wide receivers there. Phil also got two tight ends in the mix, two pretty decent tight ends. So that's a strong point. And then he's got Gurley, Connor, and then Scott on the backside, which I think Scott could end up playing some. He surely looked good at times last year. But Connor and Gurley is a good, solid running back set. Doesn't have four running backs there, but his ancillary dripped off there. He's got a weaker positions in the kicker, defense, and head coach. So that's why I give the Showboats the lead over the Bulls in the running. Tampa's got Terry Harness has put together an interesting team, but the problem I think that Terry is going to have is I think he's fighting a few defensive players that he got when you only really ultimately want to get one. That's going to put him behind the eight ball, and but he's going to run. Terry will put together a winning formula and do better than I'm probably telling you he's going to do. But he's got Minshew, and he's only got the one quarterback, so that's a real danger spot. And then he's got Gordon and McCaffrey. What can we say about McCaffrey? And he's got Landry, Chark, Debo, and Slayton as wide receiver set. That's a great wide receiver set. I'll give him an A for that. And then his ancillary set, I didn't write those guys down, but he did well there too. And he always does. So I can't say enough about Terry Harness. He's got a good noggin on him when it comes to drafting. That's for damn sure. So I'm putting Tampa in third to be the sleeper in the South. They did go to the championship game last year, Terry Harness. And then Birmingham, although had a overall good draft, I think he's got a somewhat weak wide receiver set in a PPR league. That's gonna hamper him all year. I think he has a chance to finish with a winning season, but with these other teams in the division, Showboats and the Bandits and the Bulls, the Stallions are going to have a hard time. Henry Righto, but it's an interesting set. Ruggs is there. He's got Goff and Darnold. I think both of them, one of them could be a star. They've got to prove it, but I think they could be. And then Orlando tails up this thing. Michael Rodriguez, his keeper set in the beginning, I think, before we came to draft night. I think his keeper set was better than what he ended up with in his first three. But he's got Matt Ryan that'll do well and should stay injury free. Matt's pretty resilient. He's got a 3 wide receiver set that's average, and on his ancillary squad, he's average there. He does have a good running back set in Jones and Carson, and that could take him somewhere. But I think the Showboats and the Bulls and the Tampa Bay Bandits all have the most power. So that's my breakdown of the South. I don't have time, guys, to do any more. I'll tell you, I think El Briscoe is gonna take the Pacific. I think he's gonna be one of the 2 best teams in the league. I almost have no doubt. I can't see how he can't do that. Jason Wise is going to be right there behind him. I think the Invaders also will be there, and Arizona Wranglers, who have won that division every year except last year, did put together a really good draft. So that should be a really good division. The Central Division, somebody else is going to have to do that. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. Mark looks really strong, as he always does, and somebody's got him knocking off his pedestal, and it might be the LA Express when it's all said and done. And then let's go to the Atlantic real quick. Paul Thompson. Paul, you've impressed me here. You have really put together, I think, what is a good draft. And I've seen the way you play, and now that you have the players, forget your keeper set. You drafted good after your keeper set. So proud of you. I do predict Paul with the Federals to win out in the Atlantic. Spirit of Miami is going to give them trouble. They're going to be right there again this year, I believe. John Pahala is going to have a much improved team, I believe. Could make a run for it there. Philadelphia suffered due to some auto picks that went awry, and he got some defensive players. And then Jose Plaza, who's kind of been at the bottom. I definitely think that he can make noise, and of course, your success is an accumulation of moves all year long. And that's it, guys. I'm going to hit the sack. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Some things didn't work out like we wanted them to, but we're only as good as our members, and so let's just keep doing what we're doing. So glad to have Stacy here, and I hope that everyone else had some fun tonight. You celebrity owners as well, if you were there at all. We do have the draft recap and this recap of the league, the recap of the draft recap. So have a great night.